President Barack Obama accepting his Man of the Year award, even though I am a woman. It's the fourth quarter, but big things happen in the fourth quarter, including, as Aaron said, this week when the President announced his support for the Equality Act. So there are lots of stories I can tell you about the extraordinary privileges that I've had over the last 7 years, but I'm just going to tell you 3 moments that I will never forget and hold dear. The first one, I went to the vote on the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and Brian Bond and my team and so many others had worked tirelessly forever to get it passed. And I'll never forget when the President signed the bill and he said, "This is done." But the moment I will really remember was when Secretary of Defense Chuck Hagel invited me to the Pentagon to celebrate Gay Pride Month. And I looked out into the room and I saw people sitting in uniform who had snuck into my office in the White House to work on this, who felt that they couldn't be who they were and serve our country and put their lives in harm's way. So to see them sitting there in their uniforms, proudly serving our country, that was a special moment. That's one. Second one, I had a privilege of going to the Supreme Court when we argued the DOMA case. And Edie was there. It was the first time I met her. She was in very frail health, and look at her now. She looks terrific. Edie Windsor. But the moment I will not forget is when the President called her from Air Force One, and we got disconnected from the cell phone. If you remember that, and so he called you back again just to tell you how delighted he was that we were able to move the arc of the moral universe. And though you and Thea didn't get to benefit while Thea was alive, you are an icon who made all of that possible. Edie Windsor, you deserve our your very own Evan Wilson. I was just remarking to Evan, the first time I met him or talked to him on the phone was when same-sex marriage was legal in 4 states. When President Obama took office, many of you know it was only legal in 2. And the first conversation we had was a very competitive conversation. But we have talked over and over again over the years. We've grown to be very dear friends. I treasure you dearly. And the day that the Supreme Court voted to support marriage equality was one of the best days of my life. I had the privilege of calling President Obama to tell him about the case, and I said, "The case came down today, we weren't expecting it." And I said, "It was 5-4, and he said, "Who won?" I said, "We won." And he knew exactly what I meant by that. But the moment that I will always cherish is a moment that was created by Aditi and Jeff. They came to me and they said, "We have a crazy idea. I know you'll probably never go along with it. It's probably not even technically possible. But what about if the White House were colored in a rainbow if we win?" I said, "That's a really good idea. Let's do it." And so after the victory, at the end of what had been a very tough day, because the President went down to Charleston and gave the eulogy to Reverend Pinckney, and at the end of that day, several people who had worked on marriage equality for a lifetime, many people in the White House who had celebrated privately the President's commitment and then were able to come out and watch him in the Rose Garden. We all gathered for hours in front of the White House and looked at what was truly a more perfect union because of all of you. Thank you very much, everybody.